freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it on to our children in the bloodstream. The only way they can inherit the freedom we have known is if we fight for it, protect it, defend it, and then hand it to them with the well-taught lessons of how they in their lifetime must do the same. And if you and I don't do this, then you and I may well spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it once was like in America when men were free.
Todd here from Gun Freedom Radio, and I am excited 2 years in a row to get to meet up with the great folks over at Hero Hunt Inc. Now, sitting next to me is the CEO, Joe Towers. Next to him is Jeff Bianchi, President of Operations, and Pablo Cadena, the lead ambassador of this very important organization and the work that they do. They work with line of duty injured police, fire, and military, and I'm going to let you folks fill in the rest of the blanks there about what your mission is, what your results have been, and why this is such an important mission that you have.
Okay, we started this in 2012 on a small family farm just north of Nashville, a police officer and a veteran as well. And when we started in 2012, we knew that there was a need to do other things. So we started the hunting and the fishing as my passion, and that was the excuse that I used to, get these guys and girls back together, and it brings them kind of back into the fold and the camaraderie of the environment that they had to leave due to those injuries. The first year we had three-day weekends with a total of 15 that came through. Fast forward to last year, we had 27 events, and we had almost right at 300 people come through the program.
Wow, that's incredible.
Jeff is our president of operations, and he actually sat down and started working at the numbers on growth. We grew 150% the year before last, 150% last year, and we're on track to do another 150% growth this year, and it looks like we're going to have 35 to 40 events and quite a few more people coming to the program.
That's incredible. This clearly isn't still happening on the farm, is it?
No,
all on
no.
The farm?
We've actually got some really great sponsors and some venues. Last year we were in Arkansas, Tennessee, I don't even know where, Florida, Texas, Georgia. So we had some other venues, but we're always looking for other venues and other places to go, that we can kind of plug into our program. And as fast as we're growing, we need to have other venues and other avenues to go. But we've definitely outgrown the 52-acre family farm.
Definitely sounds like it, and what a wonderful problem to have. And you, as chief of operations, you're the one that we look to solve that wonderful problem, right?
Yes, exactly right. This past year, the 150% growth we went through just in this past year was humongous, because as 150% continue to grow, this 150% is even bigger. As we sit here right now, we're already at 150% if we don't add anything for 2020.
Wow.
So we're in a position where we may be looking at a 200% growth.
Wow.
Just in this upcoming year.
That's incredible.
And that was the main reason we decided to go with and put Pablo and create an ambassador program. Basically, the board of directors, we couldn't keep up with the amount of growth.
Mm-hmm.
And when we went with the ambassador program, we have right now 12 ambassadors.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them are injured in the line of duty, people that actually started with our program and have moved up and went to plenty of events, and they know what our mission is. They know how we operate when we get to different venues, different events. And we've taken some of our guides over the years who have offered up their time away from their families just to come and be guides. And we've also moved those gentlemen into ambassador positions as well.
That is incredible.
So I think it's really important for your viewers to know, as it stands now, 7 years of operation, nobody in our company gets paid. All that money goes back into the program to help us run the mission. And Jeff and I sat at one event in East Tennessee last year, and we spent over $4,000 just buying the hunting licenses for the guys that were going to be on that event. In the ambassador program he was talking about, we wanted to make sure that some of the guys who really like what we do and they get that enjoyment and they get that camaraderie out of it. So those guys, we wanted to have a way that we can keep building on what we already have. So once they get to that point and they express that interest, we're starting to build into the program so we can keep building on what we've got.
Absolutely. And as an ambassador, you are, reaching out. You're that bridge between the public and the organization and the work that's being done. And, we're saying growth, 150% growth. When I hear growth, because I understand the important work you're doing, I'm hearing individual lives that are being impacted and touched. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, I can tell you from my personal experience, I started out, I didn't even know I got signed up for it. My wife signed me up for it.
You're not voluntold.
I did. My wife was tired of me sitting on the couch, and I was going through some depression. I didn't even realize it, but she saw it. She saw the need for me to get out, and she linked me up with Hero Hunt Inc. And I started last year, before something like that. And I've been to many different things now, different hunts, and I like what Joe's doing, and I think the ambassador program is really important because, like I said, these guys have full-time jobs, and if we can help take some of that weight off and distribute, the what needs to happen in the organization, they can't always take 3-4 days off to go to this thing. So myself, as being retired from the military, I do have that capability, and I can take point and help take some of that burden off of their shoulders.
Absolutely. And when we're talking about the people, the individuals that you are reaching out to help, police, fire, military, first responders, they're the ones that are in the mode to help others. That is how their brains are built. It's not very comfortable, correct me if I'm wrong, it's not comfortable for them to ask for help or to realize that they need to recharge their own batteries. Am I correct about that?
Absolutely. So the good thing about this, we have such a well-rounded board and ambassadors. I was in the military, but I was in the Coast Guard. I did drug addiction, search and rescue stuff. I didn't do anything combat related overseas. But on a law enforcement side, when the injured law enforcement officers come over, when they talk about where they were at or where they got hurt at or the situation, we've all been, as an officer, I've been in those situations, so I can relate to that conversation, and it's somebody to vent to or talk about that really gets it. I mean, it's one thing to hear about it, but to have been in those situations, the sights, the sounds, the smells, the things that you deal with, and Apollo has the same experience. I've never been involved in a combat overseas firefight. This guy's been through quite a bit. I mean, it's very well respected in my eyes and the military community, that the guys that we work with, and he can have those conversations. I can talk to those guys, but I don't. It's like reading a book on brain surgery. You might know all about it, but you haven't experienced it.
Yes.
He has, and they can relate to him, and it gives them an avenue to vent and just talk. And the good thing about us too is when these guys and girls come through, they're part of our family. This is. It's not like you come once and you disappear and we're just tracked. So we try to keep open the doors, and we send continual invitations for different things. And it's a family event. I mean, it's a family affair. We've got kids that have come out. I say kids, I'm probably considerably older than a lot of the guys that come through, but we've had heroes come from California, South Dakota, New Hampshire, Delaware, Florida, Texas, Georgia, Kentucky, all over, that we bring to these different events. So it's definitely you come in. We've had guys come in as strangers, but they make these connections with the other people, so they have those connections to fall back on. And I didn't know you lived that close. Let's get together, and then they go do things with them because they've had that experience and they got a bonding moment, and then they build on those, and they have other things to do besides when we have an event. So it definitely has changed some lives.
That's beautiful. And I agree that there's a total different level of understanding, camaraderie, fraternity. If you're military, connecting to another military person. If you've been a police officer, connecting to another police officer. And it makes perfect sense that you have kind of somebody in the organization for each person to connect with in that way.
Absolutely.
Did you serve as well?
No, ma'am, I've not. I actually met Joe and his wife Kim, basically at a Ford dealership that I work at in Nashville. They showed up in 2014, and when I saw the license plates on both of their vehicles, that's all I wanted to know about.
Yeah.
Joe was wanting to buy a truck, but I
Yeah.
wasn't interested in selling a truck. I was more interested in
In the Hero Hunt.
the Hero Hunt.
I love it.
Well, the Hero
You
Hunt,
caught the fire.
that's how we ended up there. We took a 22-foot trailer with 2 or 3 UTVs, and I had 5 guys jammed in the truck, and we were going to South Georgia for a pig hunt. And I'm running an F-150, at the time, and I'm watching the transmission heater just start climbing, and I'm like, and it was a newer truck. I'm like, oh, this is not good. So I pulled in there. I'm like, I need to trade up because we're doing this. So seriously, I'm just like, well, what is this going to be? Well, tell me. I'm like, no, what are we talking about? It was almost a comedy routine.
Well, what it was is when I started talking to Joe and Kim, and I saw the sincerity
Yeah.
in what they were telling me about the program, that was very contagious to me. It was something that I had to get involved with. However, I had to get my way into it.
I'm not selling you this truck until you let me in for the Hero Hunt
Right.
Incorporated.
Right.
I love it.
So basically, that's how I came on board. I spent a couple of years as guiding, also, trying to raise money, fundraising, a lot of things like that. And then Joe placed me on the board of directors. That was a huge, it was overwhelming to me. I was so proud to, and I mean, I basically wear this shirt, and I wear these shirts everywhere I go.
Because you're so proud to be
I'm
involved.
extremely proud to be
And
involved.
represent the work that's being done.
It's totally amazing, and from somebody that's not come from the military, police, or a first responder background, it's when you look at life and you go through life looking at what I can do for myself on a continuous basis, how I keep pushing to make sure my children have this, my children have that. Everything is just absolutely perfect. When you run into this type of situation, it's life changing.
For sure.
It's no longer about what I can get for Jeff and what I can get for my children and everything. Now, as long as everybody's healthy and happy, I'm okay.
Yes.
But it's more about what I can do for everybody in the program.
That's
That's
beautiful.
more important to
And doesn't God work in mysterious ways, right?
Absolutely.
You had
Absolutely.
your truck die right in the exact right place. That's wonderful. And I have not served either. And so part of me is also hearing you say that, when we haven't served, I think we feel an extra layer of responsibility for those who have gone and done for us what I've not done for
just
myself.
what
So.
Pablo's been through alone. Just one out of the millions. When you look at what I was doing at the time that he was across seas taking care of business, I wasn't thinking about
Like
it.
you weren't tapped in.
Right,
Yeah.
I wasn't tapped in, and then I meet this fine man, and I'm like, how can I not have the ultimate respect for what he's been through, for me to be able to do what my family, we did?
For sure.
It's-
And thank you for your service.
Yes, ma'am, with my honor.
Thank you for your service. Who can talk to us about, a true success story? Possibly Pablo is one, but maybe he's a little too humble to speak to it. But a true success story of somebody that maybe wouldn't have been able to reach out on their own, and Hero Hunt got a hold of them, took them out in some fresh air, connected them with other people that are in nature and hunting or fishing, and it changed the course of their life.
There's hundreds of these stories.
Yes.
There really are. There are hundreds of these stories. Everybody's story is different. Speaking of, and I could hear the guys talking in the background. We could bring 6 people together on a smaller venue, and as soon as they all get there, none of them know each other. Within 30 minutes, they've been buddies all their lives. And then you hear them talking about, I'm so glad that I took the step. Matter of fact, we just had a gentleman that signed up after 2 years of being told to sign up. He finally took the step. He got us the information that we needed in order to put him on the roster. Once Joe finished that, my responsibility is to call each and every one of them I want to find out all about these guys. So I was talking to this gentleman, and he said, yes, it's been 2 years, and I finally took the step. And it was such a sense of relief to him that we reached out immediately and said, well, you get ready because you'll be hunting in April.
Wow.
And he was so excited.
Wow.
He was like, I can't believe that you guys are really going to take me this fast.
Wow.
And I'm like, well, that's just what we do. But we've had people that have taken, and Pablo may be able to better talk about that, taking that first step.
Mm-hmm. Yes, please do.
The first step is always the hardest.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're very proud,
Mm-hmm.
and we
Sure.
don't want to feel like
You're a
there's other
burden,
people that
or you're
deserve
taking somebody
this
else's
more.
spot. Yes, yeah.
And I mean, that's the way I felt too. I don't, I'm not that. I'm injured, but I'm not. There's people out there that deserve it more than I do. I think that with what they do and how they do it, they talk about the camaraderie and the friendship. That's the toughest thing when we walk away from the military or the law enforcement is we have that fellowship. And yes, we keep in touch with a few key friends, but we don't have it every day of the joking and the thick skin that we have to have around each other. Because you make a mistake and you're going to get clowned.
Yes, for
And
sure.
well, they as you're saying, we did a hunt in December, and we brought people from New Hampshire, Texas, California, Arkansas, and Tennessee. And within a matter of 30 minutes to an hour, we were all like we've been lifelong friends, and we still keep in touch to this. I mean, we're still shooting texts back and forth, funny things, and we keep in touch. It's not a closed circle no more. It's not. I'm by myself. I have these guys that I went out and experienced this with.
Wow.
So
Actually, I think Jeff has knowledge of this too. I had a young soldier's wife sent us an email and said, I don't know what you guys did or how you did it, but he's a better dad and a better husband.
Wow. That is so awesome.
And he is phenomenal. He's actually done a lot of stuff since then. He's actually going to be one of our ambassadors now. So he kind of pulled him out of the shell and started plugging him back into what he's doing.
That is awesome, and you're going to get me going too here. So when I think about things like that, where you're like, well, I'm not that bad off, and I don't want to take somebody else's spot and that sort of thing. I get that mindset, but then I remember every time I get on an airplane and they tell me, if you're traveling with a younger person, like a baby or a child, you have to put your own oxygen mask on first in order to then be of any good to your child or your children. And I think that what you guys are doing is a beautiful way to portray that to others, that there's a strength in that, there's a proactive measure in that. It's not a selfish thing, it's not a, well, I'll just step back and let somebody else go thing. It's like, no, I have to be healthy, I have to be well, I have to be whole as much as I can to help my community and my family. And sometimes pulling away and going into nature, not pulling away into solitude, but pulling away and going into nature, and then having that camaraderie of people with you is just exactly the right medicine. And I love that you have, come to that, taking us all the way back to the beginning. What made you have that first event?
So like I said, I was active duty military prior, and then at the time I've been a police officer about 20 years or so. My wife was a police officer. She was in your line of duty.
It's still a hard one.
She's good, but
It's hard being the one.
I wanted to do that. Before Kim and I got together years ago, I'd actually wanted to do something anyway.
Yeah.
Just to bring some people out. So she got in here in 2010, had to retire from our agency in 2011. And in 2012, we ended up, I never thought I'd have a 50-acre farm. It's not huge, but it's a lot for us. And when I initially bought that place, I'm like, I don't want anybody here. This is my place. I don't have to worry about leases and people taking, moving my,
Yeah.
So on Father's,
HOAs.
yeah, on Father's Day of 2012, I was in a really demanding job in my agency. Gone a lot of call outs, a lot of hours away, over and above the regular shift, and so I told my boss I'm off call. I'm taking the day off. So I'm out actually bush hogging and just kind of get a feel for our farm, and I tried to do something several years before and it just didn't pan out, and obviously I know why now. But I came home and we were sitting at the dinner table, and I said, the thing I was wanting to do before, because we were going to try to do a small duck club type thing, and she said, yeah. I said, I want to do it here, and she never missed a beat. She put some food on my plate. She was like, all right, where do you want to start? And I said, and this is like, when's Father's Day? May, June, something like that. I said, we're going to start this year. And she went, pretty ambitious, but okay, I'll support that.
She's a keeper.
Yeah,
That's
she really
amazing.
is. So we started that, and then, like I said, because of our background, like I said, prior military and law enforcement. My dad's a retired law enforcement officer and a veteran. My brother's a police officer, canine handler, a SWAT team member in another agency. My sister-in-law is a police officer. All of my grandparents are all prior military. My great-grandfather's prior military and retired from Battle Creek, Michigan in the 50s. So, and then what I started seeing more too, everybody hears about the military 22 a day and the suicides, and it's very important that we address that. But in the last 5 to 7 years, you can't hardly turn on a newscast or a national newscast and you're hearing about the police officer suicides. And,
So you're
that's
part
it.
of that oxygen mask that,
so
people need out there.
that was the driving force, We actually just had a conversation with a gentleman in the hall, and he's like, no matter how many people here buying stuff, and they're trying to get this and they're trying to do that, and he's like, you can't take this stuff with you, but you can change lives, and they can change lives. So I might be gone for 50 years. So hopefully this company's still open 50 years, but how many lives have you changed, and how many people have they been able to affect?
Amen to that. So I know that there's tons of people out there listening and watching that are saying, okay, so in my world, how do I best help? And I think there's at least two prongs, right?
Right.
So maybe they know someone who needs this help.
Absolutely.
Or maybe they are going to be instrumental, either in a financial way, or maybe they have a 50-acre farm, or something like that.
Absolutely.
Talk to us about both of those legs. Who would be best to talk to? The piece of how do we reach the person that might need help? Maybe the ambassador.
Well, I can tell you, we have a core group of friends, and then I brought many friends and many soldiers that I've served with into this fold, and it's kind of a domino effect. Mm-hmm. If we get one in, they have two friends. They have two friends. And so, it helps us grow and helps us to get where our membership to where we,
For sure.
where we want to be, and helping more and more people. And I guess that's how that piece would work.
For sure.
For the general public that are interested in assisting us in our mission, there's different avenues. We are on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, LinkedIn. Our website is www.herohuntinc.org. On our website we have videos, we have galleries, we have the list of all of our sponsors that are already on board with us. We have avenues for people that want to join our program where they can apply online. We have avenues for folks that would like to engage with us. That's engage@herohuntinc.org. There's a spot right on there if you want to donate. There's different areas where you can do that.
It's very user-friendly website. I'm really proud of that. Jeff just took that role on a couple of weeks ago to revamp and relaunch our website. He's done a fabulous job. Everything is super user-friendly. Everything is there. It's you got some websites like, where is that? And everything is right there.
Yes, nothing is hid. Sponsorships are so important to us. The backbone of the company, really.
Sure.
And they're all listed right on the front homepage. So you don't have to go click under a sponsor link in order to find out who's helping us. When you open it up, You're basically gonna see a few pictures, a couple of our most recent videos that we've done, as well as here's our sponsors. This is what's important to us. And yes, we are in need.
Absolutely.
With the amount of growth that we're going through. Venues are key. We would love to be able to branch out and go different directions. We just had some actual heroes that applied from Wisconsin, Minnesota. So
if you're in Wisconsin or if you're in Minnesota, I think I'm hearing that we have some fine folks that might need to have an experience on your land, or right?
And we haven't been able to pay travel to get people there. Certain, you know, if we have special circumstances, we discussed it to figure out how to make those things happen. We're hoping to be in a position in the next year or two to say, you know, we can get you here. We'll fly, you know, for the guys who are further away, girls who are further away, we can fly them in. That's part of our goal, our very immediate goal. But the big things that eat up a lot of our financial backing would be the travel and, you know, the venues. Because if somebody's running a hunting reserve or lodge or an outfitter, I mean, they're in the business to make money. We understand that. So, you know, if somebody wants to donate a venue, that'd be great. But when we do take people to those offsite venues, those are, you know, an expense. So the financial side of it is extremely important.
Absolutely. And so, do you have a portal for, you know, the average Jane and Joe out there that's like, well, I don't have a ton of money, but I definitely have $5 or $10 or $25. Is there a portal for that kind of help?
Yes.
And that is through the
website.
Through the website.
Through the main website, which again, say what it is.
It's herohuntinc.org.
herohuntinc.org, and the ink is INC, just like you see on their shirts here. Gentlemen, I'm just honored to have a few moments of your time, because what you're doing is so important that I wish you were out in the field right now doing it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But I know that the messaging is important, getting the word out to folks across the nation. And we're meeting here in Las Vegas at the SHOT Show, which is the big industry show for the firearms industry. And you're connecting with probably potential sponsors, businesses of all sizes.
Absolutely.
Right? You don't always have to have, you know, the big name brands that everybody recognizes immediately. There's a lot of smaller mom and pops brands out there that this is their passion. And you're connecting with those kind of folks.
And with our sponsors, we always, like, if it's a product sponsor, whatever, if we do a video and they're part of that event, we always, if we're getting that video together, we always get those items in those videos and thank them for their helping us get that done. So we're never going to be somebody that says, hey, I appreciate it, and you never hear from us again, or you don't get anything back. We always try to put something back, you know, to help the people who are helping us.
Very good, very good. This is awesome. I appreciate you, all three of you, and what I'm hearing is you're never too big or you're never too small to help. And if you're looking for a place to help, I think that I couldn't think of a more worthy cause. And I appreciate meeting all of you. Pablo, Jeff,
Ma'am, thank you.
Joe.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much for
being
your
here.
time. Absolutely. All right, stick around. There's always lots more coming up on Gun Freedom Radio.